What if you woke up one day and bam, your favorite book was banned? By banning books, those who are in marginalized communities are further marginalized and their experiences are erased and diminished from society. As somebody who was part of the LGBTQ community, I can understand the impact that book bannings would have on those in the community and how it could affect us. And already in a struggling world where those who are part of the community trying to find their way look to these books for guidance and strength. So it not only hits marginalized communities, but it affects society as a whole. Many of these bans are targeting young adult books. But again, like I said, more importantly, those books that are LGBTQ themed. During a time when the world is already a crazy place and people don't fully know who they are sometimes. The youth are trying to figure out where they fit into the world and where they fit in society as a whole. And sometimes they don't fit the norm. And so they look to these books for guidance and strength. Especially books that talk about the community. And according to GLAAD, as of December 16th of last year, 41% of books being banned over the last year were targeted due to LGBTQ content. At an already scary time in our country, book bans are being pushed further and further and further, which is putting those in minority at risk. Like I said, specifically those in the LGBTQ youth who are trying to understand themselves in this already crazy world. Those who are in the community, or those who may be questioning who they are, always can find a connection, a refuge, an understanding of their identity in these books. It allows them to love who they are and find that there are examples of who they are in the books that they read about and talk about. As put in the article, 366 book challenges tracked by ALA in 2019, and the problem is growing. It mentions that the adults that are supposed to be helping the youth are the ones determining gender identity and how it should be discussed or even mentioned, which is telling those youth that they don't exist or that they don't matter. As well, studies show that those who find acceptance in their schools are at a lower risk of committing suicide, while those who have the book bans are having higher rates. So how do we find a solution that would work for both sides of the discussion? Any solution for this problem is going to involve communication, whether it is both sides sitting down in a neutral zone setting and arguing both sides, talking to elected officials, or even taking the most extreme route of filing lawsuits. But that would cost a lot of money and may not always go the way that we want it to. My solution would involve sitting down with my elected officials on both sides and presenting evidence from both sides and reasons why book bans should not be done, and immediately have them reversed as well. But also finding a compromise that we can all agree on. This means bringing both sides of the political party together and forcing them to sit down in an open discussion. Almost like a court case, but without all the legal filings and all the money put towards it. We can find a process, a procedure that'll work, that allow these books to be read still for those that are needing them in the community. We've seen it before where Congress has come together and heard both sides. And this is extremely prevalent in our world today, where they came together to decide to ban TikTok in the United States. This means that both sides can come together. However, a common argument is that you can't bring together both sides of the political party on this subject. There are plenty of examples of where Democrats and Republicans can't agree, such as border security. As of this year, according to the Congress.gov website, There was a bill introduced that would allow changes to occur for border security that would help them further, but it failed in the House by 6 votes. Despite that common disagreement, there can be solutions found because we've seen where Congress can come together. With my solution being suggested, we can imagine what would happen. Ignoring the solution will have negative consequences, as we can go over again. First off, it will create the atmosphere for those in the LGBT community that they don't exist, they don't matter, which already further will put them down a path of raising the suicide rates high, and having history repeat itself over and over again of people being hurt, people being injured, people being pushed, people being angry. We don't want history to repeat itself. We want to grow. Agreeing to the solution allows for society to continue to have open and frank conversations that would allow society to change and allow things to be different, but for the better. Allowing the solution provides refuge and understanding to young adults who are trying to find themselves in this already crazy world. It allows for society to change, to be more open, to be heard, to have hearts changed. And isn't one of the greatest commandments of God is to love our neighbors? By reminding ourselves to love our neighbors, we should allow ourselves to take the solution to find a way for both sides to be happy, but for books to not be banned. That way our LGBTQ youth and community can feel seen, heard, and loved. Remember what you would feel like if you had a book that you loved and was banned, that gave you refuge or hope or happiness. Encouraging you to learn about the LGBT community is strongly suggested by me as well, and the youth in it. Banning books can harm them and make them feel more isolated. Thank you.